This video will show you how to replace the front headlamp assemblies on a Honda HR-V. These will be located along the front of your vehicle. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Open the hood. Once you have it up, we're going to start by removing our forward trim panel. This is going to be fairly simple overall. You're going to find you have several push clips holding it in place. For your push clips, I'm going to be using a trim tool. You can also use a flat blade screwdriver. Carefully start removing the center to unlock it. Once you have it unlocked, you should be able to remove the outer portion as well. Typically, there will be another push pin on either corner towards the rearward side. This one is missing, so I'm going to move along. This one's a little different, same process though. Just lift that up and out of there. One more right here. Now we'll take hold of this. We're going to have to lift it up and pull it away from the hood release handle. As far as the front bumper cover and grille are concerned, we do have one more push clip in this area. We're saving this for last. Let's make our way towards the driver's side wheel well next. Now inside the front wheel well along either side, you're going to find that you have a push clip, and then you make your way down and there's a Phillips head screw. Remove the pair. We're going to start removing this trim panel up towards the corner of the bumper cover. For that, I have a plastic trim tool. We'll make our way in between here and gently start prying. You're going to find there's a couple mounting points. Typically, they should just pop out of place. There's one. There should be a second one right here. You can see where the mounting point would be. This one is damaged clearly. And there's our Phillips head mounting screw. Let's go ahead and remove that next. That. We should be able to take hold of the front bumper cover. We're going to carefully start separating it from along the fender and the headlamp assembly. Go over to the other side of the vehicle, repeat this exact same process. After you've done that, make your way safely under the front corner of the bumper cover. Now under each corner of the front bumper cover, we have some push clips here, starting on the driver's side. Let's make our way over. As I make my way across, there are several push clips that do not need to be removed. I've marked them in yellow here, so we'll continue on to the others. This one does not need to be removed. There should be one here. Yeah. Feels like the bracket's broken up there. That's okay. Let's continue on. Heading towards the passenger side. Just like on the other side, I've marked a few of these that do not need to be removed. So we don't need to remove that. We don't need to remove this. Let's go here. All these can stay in place. Let's make our way to the far corner. Okay, so we finished removing all push clips from under here. Let's pause underneath the vehicle, make our way back up top into the engine compartment for our one last push clip. Now I'm holding the front bumper cover and grille towards the vehicle. I'm going to remove my final push clip here. We don't want this to fall and potentially get damaged. We'll carefully pull this out and away from the vehicle. Now that we have the bumper cover out of the way, we can start removing our headlamp assemblies. Now, of course, we are doing this as a pair, and the process will be the same for either side. Now, let's get started over on the driver's side here. To do either of your headlamp assemblies, we're going to remove the four 10mm headed mounting bolts holding it in place, and then, of course, we do have some wiring. Let's start underneath our front headlamp assembly. You're going to find that you have a plastic bracket. As we follow it down, just under this area, there's going to be a 10mm headed mounting bolt. There's one of our mounting bolts. Now as we move towards the forward outer lower corner, we can remove this mounting bolt. As I can tell, this is actually broken here, but this should be a part of the headlamp assembly. This one out of here. Like I mentioned, this is actually broken, should be attached to the headlamp assembly, so that would not come off. Just go ahead and inspect your hardware. Let's continue on up along the top next. Now up along the top forward side of the headlamp assembly, we do have a small plastic bracket that we're going to start removing. There's a 10mm bolt holding the bracket in place. Now this bolt goes through the bracket, but it also goes through the headlamp assembly. Grab this, I'm going to twist it, roll right out of my way here. We don't have to fully remove it. It does have a push clip. It doesn't have to be removed unless you find that it needs to be replaced for any reason. This is fine, so let's continue on to our next piece of hardware on the outer corner. Last one here. As we pull this away from the vehicle, keep in mind we do have an electrical wiring harness that needs to be dislodged. To do this, I want to grab along this upper outer ear. It has a small location tab, so we're just going to gently lift up on that, and now we can pull this away. We have a clear view along the inboard side here. Now to start removing the wiring harness, you can start with pretty much any electrical connector. I'm just going to make my way to the inboard side here. We can take hold of the entire thing, give it a twist, counterclockwise, and remove it. Now if you are intending on replacing the bulb, you just want to go ahead and take hold of it. You should be able to dislodge it. Replace it with the same corresponding bulb by pressing it into place. Now we're just going to follow this along. We have a mounting point along the top of the headlamp assembly. Typically you can pull this out of place by hand. You may need to pry it out of place using a small screwdriver if necessary. There we are, just a quick inspection of that. We want to make sure it's reusable. We're making our way towards where the headlamp bulb is. For this, I'm going to take hold of the electrical connector itself and carefully pull it away from the bulb. The bulb is still located inside of the assembly. To remove the bulb from the assembly, it's very easy. You can take hold of this rubber gasket. We'll just pull that away. Now, if you were looking inside this area, we can see where the back side of our bulb is, and we do have a locking clip. For this locking clip, it locks in behind this little ear, so I'm going to press it inward. We'll pull it over towards the side, removing it from its locking ear. You should be able to take hold of the bulb and carefully remove it. Now, when you do go to inspect this, you want to make sure you do not touch on the bulb with any oily fingers. That's going to reduce the life of the bulb itself. This looks good. We'll go ahead and set it aside. Now we have another electrical connector over here. We'll take hold of that with the bulb. Remove that, a quick inspection. There it is, friend. Now it's time to install the brand new headlamp assembly. Let's have a quick look along the back side. Now as we look along the back side here, we can see the area where each one of our bulbs is going to go. Let's start by removing our headlamp bulb. You're going to find that the headlamp assembly comes with new bulbs. Those are test bulbs. Typically, you just replace them with the original bulbs that you had in the original headlamp assembly. Now, with that said, I'm going to remove my rubber gasket from the headlamp area. After that, we have our small metal clip. You know what to do here. We just need to dislodge it from its locking tab, and we can remove that bulb. At this point, we can install our bulb, so I'm going to pull up on my locking tab here. We're going to take that headlamp bulb, we'll twist it as necessary. Now you're going to find it only fits in one way. It needs to fit flush. Once you do have it flush in place, continue on with your locking tab here. We're going to take that and bring it underneath its locking ear. After you do feel as though you have it properly secured, you need to take hold of it and double check. If it moves around, it's not secured properly. Now we have our rubber seal. I like to have it so my two grab tabs are facing up and down. You can put it in pretty much any orientation. We'll just make sure we do have access to the electrical tabs on the back side of the bulb here. Press this in, making sure that we have a good seal. Now, one last thing while we're back here, we do have the adjustment points for our headlamp bulbs. So you can see we have one here, and then we have a second one over here. The process for either of these is going to be the same. You can use a Phillips head screwdriver. Carefully make your way down and through, and you can adjust this in one direction or the other. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm just taking that screwdriver, and you can turn it one direction or the other as necessary. The alignment of your bulbs will be done at the end of this job. Now, with all that said, let's continue on to installing our bulbs. So for this, I'm just starting with my outer corner light here. We're going to line it up, turn it clockwise, make sure it's locked in. For the headlamp bulb, there really isn't too much to do here. We're just going to align our tabs with the bulb itself and press that in as well. Double check. We want to make sure that's secured in place. As we continue making our way across the headlamp assembly, we need to make sure we secure our wiring harness. That slides right up on here. We're pressing it in. That's secure. Now we have our last bulb all the way up in the forward corner here. This is looking good. Let's go ahead and get it in position. So we're sliding this into position here. There's a couple areas that we want to focus on before we start putting in any hardware. The upper corner here. Now this does have an alignment tab, so I'm going to go ahead and press this one direction or the other till it falls into position. I can see my tab is inside the circular port where it needs to be. I'm going to start in the piece of mounting hardware for this area, but I'm not tightening it. Let's continue down along the fender area. We have another piece of mounting hardware going into this area. We just want to make sure that we have everything in the proper orientation. We can start in that mounting bolt. Just as before, I'm not tightening any of this hardware until I have everything started in, so let's continue on underneath the forward corner here. Now for this, we have one of the bolts that has the smooth shanked area. We just need to make sure it's aligned properly. Typically, you can maneuver things around as necessary. Now that I do have it aligned, I'm going to start in the mounting bolt. You really can't see it because it's underneath this bracket. Just going to see if I can start it in here with my ratchet. But I am leaving it loose. Now we're making our way up to the upper corner. Let's make our way up here to this upper corner. We're starting this in as well. Now that I have all the hardware started in, let's go ahead and start snugging it up. Okay, let's make our way down here. Okay, that upper bolt is tight. Let's make our way back down here. That one's tight as well. Let's get this one up here. Let's double check, make sure that's secured in place. Now we're done on this side headlamp assembly. Let's make our way over to the other headlamp assembly. You're going to repeat this exact same process. Whenever you do these, typically I like to do them as a pair. After you've completed the pair of them, we're going to continue on with our bumper cover. We're going to carefully bring this into place. We want to be careful for our headlamp assemblies. As I bring this over, I always like to start up along the forward area with my push clips. I want to hold it in position so it doesn't fall out of place. Now there are several push clip ports making their way across the front bumper cover and grille assembly. We really only need to install one right now because there is a plastic panel that we'll be installing in the end. Now for the one we're doing, it's going to be this right here. We can see where our hood release is. Let's go ahead and bring this in. We're driving in the outer portion and locking it in with the center. Now once you're sure that the bumper cover is secured in place up along the top center, let's make our way towards the front wheel well so we can start installing our hardware along there. As we make our way over towards that fender, we need to make sure that the bumper cover is seated all the way along the bottom of the headlamp assembly and along the fender. We'll lift this up, gently flex it. It should want to slide into the proper positioning here. Just a couple light taps. We'll confirm it looks like it's seated all the way over. Now in this corner here, you should find that you have your area for a Phillips head mounting screw. Now we can continue on with our trim panel. That's going to align. It should press in right here and right here. One of our tabs is broken. That's okay. We'll insert what we can. Now we have our push clip for this area. Phillips head screw here. Okay, so we're done on this side. Let's go over to the other side of the vehicle. We're going to repeat this exact same process. After that, we're making our way under the front bumper cover. Now that we've completed that, we're back underneath the front corner of the bumper cover here. We're going to start installing our push clips that we had removed. We have the far corner. As you remember, during the removal process, there was a couple push clips that we did not have to remove, so let's continue on to the others here. We'll make our adjustment as necessary. Line it up, press it in. Making our way across here. Now, as you remember during the removal process, this one was missing on ours, and our body is damaged, so I can't install one. Just go ahead and install that as well. Let's make our way over. We're going to align all three of these areas together. Let's continue towards the passenger side. Let's get this aligned. Now we should have another push pin in this area, just like the other side. During the removal process, I mentioned that we did not have one here and the bracket is bent. So let's continue on to the next piece of hardware. Let's bring this down as necessary. Now we're making our way to the far corner. This corner one in, just gonna pull down on that, lock it in. All right, just one last quick inspection while we're underneath the vehicle and we can make our way back up inside the engine compartment. In the engine compartment, let's focus on our air inlet tube. You're going to find that you have these rubber ears. We want to take those and slide them up and over the bumper cover. Now, once you have that in place, we're going to continue on with our forward trim panel. As for that trim panel, we want to make sure that our hood release handle is making its way through this port. So that's where we'll start. Just bring it underneath the release handle and slide it straight rearward. We'll also make sure we're under our radiator cap. You can gently flex this as necessary. There we are. Now it's time for some push pins. Over towards the driver's side, you remember that we were missing one here. There's a little piece of bracket missing. That's okay. Let's continue on to the ones we can gain access to. We're just going to align things here. You know what to do. Press in the outer portion, locking them in with the center. Just 5 more to go as we make our way towards the passenger side. This one in here. Here we are. Just double check to make sure that's secured in place as it needs to be. Okay, friend, we finished the installation of both sides of our front headlamp assemblies. The next thing you have to do is test the functionality, and then close the hood and take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
Now we're going to get the vehicle ready to aim the headlights. Start with the tire pressure, making sure all 4 tires are set at the appropriate pressure. Remove any excessive weight that's not normally in the vehicle. Find a wall that you can drive up to where the ground is level. Measure 25 feet away from that wall and mark the ground. Drive your vehicle up to that mark. With the headlights off, look for the center dot in the headlight lens. Measure from the ground to that center dot. You can use a ruler to help you out. Transferring that measurement to the wall, making a mark with some tape. On the driver's side, measure down 4 inches, putting another piece of tape. For the passenger side, you only need to measure down 2 inches. Now turning the headlights on, it is easier to do this at night or in a dark area. Locating your headlight adjuster and using a Phillips head screwdriver, turn your adjuster one way or another to bring the headlight up or down. Once the headlight is adjusted to the tape mark on the wall, move on to the next headlight. If you're confused because the beams seem to blend together, you can always have someone stand in front of the other headlight while you make your adjustments for that one. Now your headlights are aligned and you're all set to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.